Hi, welcome to our 8th grade course selection presentation. I am Mrs. Lamb. I am one of the guidance counselors here at Monte Vista, and I have last name M through SHA.
I'm Clay Stiver. Hi, everybody. Last name's SHE through Z, guidance counselor at Monte Vista.
I'm Jessica Kasha. It's a tricky spelling last name. I have students who have last names GOV through L.
Hello, everyone. My name is Monique Ballantyne. I'm also a guidance counselor, and I have students with the last name A through GOU.
So we hope you are all doing well during remote learning and surviving the shelter in place. We are really bummed that we are not able to do this in person with you all. If it wasn't shelter in place, we would be coming to your campus. We would spend the day with you. We would do our presentation, and we would answer all the questions that you have about Monte Vista and high school. Just given our current times, we are doing things a little bit differently. So you are watching the recording of our course selection presentation. And so once you have finished watching it, we hope throughout the process you'll be jotting down questions you have for us. And following that, we will host a Q&A webinar January 20th at 10:30 a.m. So we want you to come to the webinar and ask all the questions that you have for us, and we'll spend the hour answering and just kind of going over things in terms of high school, what it's going to be like, transition, and so forth. Sorry.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Lamb. So we're going to talk about today. Obviously, we just introduced ourselves, 4 guidance counselors over at Monte Vista. We're going to talk about things to consider when entering high school. Hopefully you're all excited about it. We're obviously very excited to have you next year. Talk a little bit about graduation and college requirements, just kind of touch on it, just show it to you. Talk a lot about the course selection process, how to pick classes, the whole process in general. And then next steps, after this presentation, what do you do? So we'll talk about all those things today during this presentation and recording.
Hey, so at Monte Vista, we have 4 guidance teams that are broken down by last names. So Miss Ballantyne has A through GOU last name students, and her guidance team partner is Mr. Martinez, assistant principal. Me, again, Jessica Kasha, my guidance partner is Mr. Flores. He's the assistant principal, and we have GOV through L. Miss Lamb's assistant principal partner is Miss Chen, and they have M through SHA, and Mr. Stiver's partner is Mr. White, and they have last names SHE through Z.
So in terms of course selection, we have this timeline. So you will be sent a K12 course request form via email sometime in January. And then you have some time to think about your courses, and the form itself is due on March 5th. Then the 17th through the 26th, you have some time to verify your courses, make corrections. If you see that your classes are not what you originally selected, then you let us know that you need a correction. The final course verification happens in early June. And again, that's a time to say, are the courses that I selected correct? Your tentative schedule will be sent home in early August. And then running of the bulls will happen August 9th. It's a time to get used to school, add any available courses, drop classes. It's just kind of a nice transition into high school life. And then you'll pick up your schedule on the first day of school, August 16th.
Okay, these are general guidelines. So we give you quite a bit of time to look over your classes and to consider the things that you want to take. So we want you to make informed decisions. So looking at electives, talk to your teachers, talk to maybe older peers or siblings that have been through Monte Vista and know the classes, talk to your parents about the things that you want to take. We also want you to know about workload. Some elective courses will have more content and homework than others. So we want to make sure, as you're transitioning to high school, that you have a balanced schedule. So those are all things we want you to be able to keep in mind as you're looking at the things that you want to take for next year. There's no doubling up in one particular department. So for example, you cannot sign up for Chinese and Japanese. You cannot sign up for biology and chemistry, okay? You do not have to choose a 7th class, okay? 7th really is your optional choice. If you feel that, hey, 6 is good enough, I'm transitioning into high school, you know, I want to have time, I want to have balance, I want to do extracurriculars, go for 6, totally fine. And the 7th choice really is based upon space availability. So if you do choose a 7th, you need to be sure that 7th choice is a course that we always say you can live with or you can live without. So if you do end up getting it, that's like a bonus, awesome. But if you don't, hey, no sweat, that's fine. I got my top 6 and I'm good. Keep balance and great expectations in mind. That's really important, right? So thinking about, you know, what do you want to accomplish for that particular school year and how much you have on your load and how much you're able to manage, you know, given all the other things that you might have on your plate, right? So maybe you want to also try out some school activities. Maybe you also have activities outside of school that you want to continue to manage. So you need to take all of that into consideration and make sure your overall load is balanced for freshman year, okay? Choose wisely. So your top 6 choices should be the courses that you absolutely love and you absolutely want. Those are the ones that we prioritize. Again, 7th is if space is available.
I just want to add on to that you do not have to take 7 classes every year to graduate. Even taking 6 classes every year will put you over the amount of credits that you need to graduate. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. So again, 7 classes is not required, it's not necessary, and it's not always available.
And just to show you what that looks like on the form, this is the K12 form that Miss Ballantyne had referenced a couple slides ago. And you can see right in the middle there what Miss Lamb is talking about with that top 6. So we have the English, science, and PE classes are already pre-selected. That's what all of our 9th grade students take. They all take the same English class, lit writing, the same science class, biology, and the same PE class, PE 9. Where students get some more choices, obviously with math class, you know, different options there. And then obviously with the electives, there's a whole ton of options students could choose for electives. On the K12 form, you click the drop-down box and it will have all of those classes there. You just select it. They're the optional 7th course, again, only based on availability. It is not guaranteed, not required either, as Ms. Kasha said. But if you wanted to try to get one, you know, you could put it there. There are a couple courses that are by audition or application, which you could select on there as well. Fill out all the rest of the information and then you submit the form. So this is what the front page of the form looks like. We do ask that you also input your current 8th grade math class. This just really helps us from kind of a data standpoint. So we really do encourage you to put that in there as well, along with the math course you plan to take at Monte Vista next year in 9th grade. So this is just to show you what the course form looks like. Again, like Ms. Ballantyne said, you will get this form. It's a K12 form, and this is how you will select your classes. The second page of the form is kind of a continuation. We do ask if you are going to play a sport to just enter it here. Just again, gives us some more information. It's not required. If you put that you're going to play football in the fall and you decide not to play football, it's not like we're going to hold you into it and you have to play football. It just helps us with information, with data, you know, stuff like that. There's more information about math class placement, about world language sign up. For example, if you're going to take if you want to take the Chinese placement exam because you're going to sign up for level 2 or above. We'll talk more about that later, but read everything on both sides, page 1 and page 2. It's always good to read everything. And then at the very end, students are going to sign it, write it to your parents, they'll sign it, and then it will be submitted to the school. And again, this is the form that actually where you select your classes, okay? So I just wanted to show it to you, but again, you are going to get a copy of it. And if for some reason it's the end of January and you have not gotten this email or you do not have this form, please contact the school. Please contact Monte Vista. We want to send it to you because this is how you're going to sign up for classes. So just a heads up there as well.
Hey, high school graduation requirements. These are the requirements that you have to meet to graduate high school. We are talking just about high school graduation and not about college eligibility on this slide. So this would be if you are intending to go to community college, Maybe you want to go into the workforce, you want to go into military, but you are not intending to go directly to a 4-year school. These are the requirements that you would have to meet. You need 4 years of English, 2 years of science, 2 years of math through geometry. So you need an algebra class and a geometry class. You need 3 years of history, and that is, you will not take history your freshman year. You will take history starting your sophomore year, you'll take it your junior year, and you'll take it your senior year. You need 2 years of PE. So obviously you will all be in PE 9 this year, so you will get one of those years of PE out of the way, and then you will take another year, or there's some other options that I think Ms. Lamb is going to talk about in a minute. Then you need 70 credits of electives. So there are 3 elective categories that we will also touch on later: applied academic, fine art, and world language. You have to do 1 class out of 2 of those 3 categories. So you can see that there are graduation requirements, there are college requirements, and there is a lot of similarity between the 2. For example, with the electives, you can see that for college, you need 1 year of a fine art and you need a world language. So if you're trying to meet those college eligibility requirements and you take those 2 for college, they also mirror requirements for graduation. So looking at a lot of student transcripts, it seems that our freshmen will, maybe take an art class or an applied academic, and then they will also take a language because maybe they started it in middle school and they want to continue, or you guys want to start fresh because you want to meet that language requirement for college eligibility. So if you did an applied academic or a fine art and that language your freshman year, then after freshman year, you've met that elective requirement for graduation. So that's pretty cool. You only need 220 total credits to graduate Monte Vista. So going back to what I said before, if you took 6 classes every year with us, you would have 240 credits. So you have additional credits over what you would even need to graduate. So with the 220 credits, technically that's 2 years of 6 classes and 2 years of 5 classes. So by no means do you have to do 7 classes a year. In fact, a lot of our seniors choose to do 5 classes. They do their English, a math, a science, their history class, and then an elective class. Sometimes they'll do TA, and they'll TA for a teacher, and they'll just keep it really easy senior year because they know that they're applying to colleges and that's time consuming. So again, I want to dispel this rumor that you have to take 7 classes or that 7 classes puts you at an advantage. It does not. You can see here that you only need 220 credits. So that's it.
Here we go. Sorry about that.
So as Mr. Stiver showed us in the K12 form, there are some classes that you naturally have to take as 9th graders. So you'll all take lit writing, which is your English, biology, PE 9. And then where you do have your choice is your math class and then 2 electives. So this is a typical schedule of 6 classes. Again, that 7th one being optional and only available if there is space. Really, we want you to pick classes that you'll like, that you'll enjoy. It's your first year of high school, so make sure you're just picking classes where you feel like, for my first year of high school, I would be happy and content taking these classes. Again, on the course request form, there's a lot of information. So if you're not sure which math class, there's our math department chair's email address. You can contact your counselor. If you have questions, please do let us know.
Okay, PE 9 and PE sports. Lots of questions come up a lot here. So hopefully we can, clarify some of the questions that you have regarding sports and PE courses. So as a freshman, all 9th graders will take PE 9. That is required. So freshman year through PE 9, you'll earn 10 credits. Now, if you're going to choose to do a sport during freshman year, you do earn credits. However, the sports credits will fall under our elective category, not under our PE category. Now, when you move into sophomore year, you can choose to take PE courses. We have lots of PE elective options like weight training, PE dance, racket sports, basketball, or many students will choose to play a sport. And beginning sophomore year, if you play a sport, your sport can fall under your PE credits. Now, each sport you play per season is worth 5 credits. So let's say you choose to do 2 sports in a year, you're going to earn 10 credits for going towards your PE credits, okay? Or let's say you play football, but you're going to play football sophomore, junior, and senior year. You're going to get 5 credits per season, totaling up to 15 credits in PE, okay? Sports information and coaches contact can be found on the Monte Vista website. So if you're interested in a particular sport and you want to know more about it, I recommend that you go to our Monte Vista website, look at the sport, click on it, and you can email the coach directly as well too. Following sports, so these are our sports that we have for fall, winter, and spring. So fall sports, we have water polo, golf, field hockey, and girls tennis. Winter, we have boys and girls soccer, and in the spring, we have baseball, softball, swim, dive, boys golf, and boys tennis. Now, the following teams are most impacted due to early game times. So if you're looking at one of those, what we strongly recommend is to put in an unscheduled 7th, is to not have a 7th period. And again, like we've been saying this whole time, you know, a 7th really is optional. And as you're transitioning, you're going to want to try so many things, and you want to make sure your schedule's balanced. And if you know for sure you are going to do a sport, then we strongly advise complete your 6 classes. Try to have that open 7th so you can also participate in the sport.
And I just want to add on that obviously this year has been really tricky with athletics. We have not, you know, had games, sports, you know, students were practicing in kind of small cohorts earlier on, but that has stopped. So we are hopeful that things will resume as normal in the fall. You know, fall sports may have conditioning over the summer. So the most updated information will be on our website. So if you are interested in playing a fall sport that normally would start practicing or conditioning in August before school begins, please check the website over the summer for any updates, because there is paperwork that you have to get done. So you want to be ready to go and make sure that you've not missed that.
I also want to plug our MV Athletics Instagram account run by our wonderful athletic director, Mr. Bonacorsi. He's actually really, really great about giving updates on Instagram on that account. So I suggest you follow it. I think it's MV Athletics or something like that. But he has, I know he just put out a video the other day updating about, you know, new things within the county and COVID and stuff. So definitely check that out if you plan to be an athlete. Really, really great thing to follow.
And you can follow the Monte Vista Guidance Instagram account as well. We put updates there.
We have to plug our own account.
Yeah.
All the accounts.
It's also a great one to follow.
Probably the best one, but you know.
All right, let's talk about math. Yeah. So middle school math trends. I just kind of wanted to give, you know, we had a lot of questions from parents sometimes about not really sure what the next math course is for their student. And students, if you're watching this, we want you to have the information as well. So if you, obviously you're an 8th grader right now, most likely at Kennedy or Lawson, you are in a class called Common Core Math 8, which is basically the equivalent of pre-algebra. Then the next course that you would take in the line at Monte Vista would be Algebra 1. If you're currently in a class called Common Core Math 8 Algebra, basically the equivalent of Algebra 1, the next course you would take is Geometry at Monte Vista. And then if you are currently in 8th grade in Common Core Math Geometry, then the next course would be either Algebra 2, or if you really love math, math is like your favorite subject of all time, then maybe possibly Algebra 2 Trig, which is definitely a harder class. It covers more material. So definitely if you love math, it's really one of those ones that you could get a lot out of. But if you're maybe not the strongest math student, or you just maybe don't enjoy math that much, you know, Algebra 2, definitely slower paced, still a great class, covers all of Algebra 2, but you have some options there. So yeah, so, you know, depending on the class you're in 8th grade, you know, this would be the courses that you would take for math when you get to high school here in Monte Vista as a freshman.
Okay, so here is our math pyramid. You can see these are typical pathways for math at Monte Vista. Students would start with Algebra 1 and then go to Geometry. Geometry, a 1-year high school geometry course is required for college eligibility. So if your intent is to be four-year college eligible, graduate from Monte Vista, be eligible to go directly to a four-year college or university, you need a year of geometry for UCs and for CSUs. So make sure that you are not trying to skip over or thinking that you did some geometry a little bit, but you need a full year's worth. So again, Algebra 1 into geometry. From geometry, like Mr. Stiver said, you have some options. You can go to Algebra 2, Algebra 2 Trig. Algebra 2 Trig is an accelerated high school math course. It covers the entire year of Algebra 2 and a semester of Trig. So you can see with the Algebra 2 class, it's 1 year math class in 1 year of time. With Algebra 2 Trig, you're doing that entire Algebra 2 course, year's worth, and an additional semester. So obviously, it's going to cover way more content. It's going to move at a quicker pace. So if, like Mr. Stiver said, maybe math is fine, but you need a little bit more time to learn the concepts, you want to make sure that you understand everything, then maybe Algebra 2 is a better choice for you. If you understand concepts quick, if you're okay moving on fast and not having that time to, ask as many questions and practice and get deep into the content, then maybe Algebra 2 Trig is the best choice for you. From Algebra 2, students typically go to applications of advanced math or pre-calculus. From Algebra 2 Trig, you can go to pre-calculus, pre-calculus honors. You can even go to applications of advanced math. Sometimes students will do Algebra 2 Trig and say, wow, this was a lot more than I thought it was going to be. It's kind of intense. I don't know if this is the route I want to go. Maybe I want to go to application. So there's a lot of flexibility, and it really depends on what makes the most sense for you. How strong of a math student are you? What are your plans in the future? Does it make sense to take a higher level? Are you good with a different level? It's really, a personal choice and an individual situation. From that level, you can go, students who take applications of advanced math will take AP statistics. AP are college level courses offered at our high school. So AP statistics is a college level statistics course. From pre-calculus, students can go to AP statistics or AP calculus, again, another college level math course. And from pre-calculus honors, students can go typically to any of those three. Usually the norm is from pre-calculus honors to calculus, but again, sometimes students will take pre-calculus honors and say, wow, calculus is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to just go to statistics and not do calculus. So again, lots of flexibility. Calculus AB is again a college level course. You are doing Calculus A in first semester, so you're doing a college level semester of calculus in first semester at Monte Vista, and then you are doing Calculus B in second semester. So you're doing 2 college semesters in 2 academic semesters with us. Calculus BC is deceivingly sneaky. You're actually doing Calculus A and Calculus B in first semester, and then Calculus C in second. So you're actually doing 3 college semesters of math in 2 high school semesters. So again, this is going to be the most accelerated, fast-paced math class that we offer. It is typically a class that is taken by students who want to go into engineering. We've had students in the past who are in it and they're like, oh my, this class is really hard. It's not what I expected. I'm really struggling. And we'll say, what are you thinking about doing in the future? And they'll say business. And then we laugh. It is not required for a business major. So again, the higher level calculus courses are typically for students who want to do math heavy majors. They want to major in math. They want to major in physics. They want to major in engineering or computer science. The majority of other majors, you need statistics. You may want to take calculus AB, but it's not necessary. So I want to dispel the myth that you have to get to calculus by your senior year, that you have to get to calculus by your junior year. It's not necessary. It really depends on what you want to do in the future, where your math skills are. So we are very happy. We would rather have those conversations with you early on and make sure that you have a good plan that's appropriate for what you want to do, than have you choose something and overextend yourself and then struggle. So we're happy to give you some guidance. Again, please reach out to our math department chair about your individual situation, because we want to make sure that you are taking the math class where you will be most successful, not the math class that your friends are taking or your sister took or that your parents or family members think you should take, but what is the best for you.
Yeah, and I'd really like to add to what Ms. Kasha is saying is, as you're trying to choose what's most appropriate for you, you should kind of reflect on your, just over the course of the years in middle school, did you like math? what were your progress report grades like? Those were all indicators, right? Like, what type of student are you, right? So for example, that Algebra 2 trig course, you know, you gotta love math. Like you know, you're that kid that really enjoys it. You enjoy working out those problems. And, you know, for any class, like how am I gonna be able to cope? Let's say you know, on my first assessment, I have a D. That's my first test. You know, are you that student that's gonna just kind of curl up and you know, not know what to do? Or are you that kid that's resilient and that you're going to go to your teacher, you're going to go to office hours, and you're going to say, how am I going to make this work? How am I going to improve my grade? So those are the things you have to be thinking about, right? Like, what type of learner are you? And, you know, how much do you want it and how passionate you are for it, right? So those are things you should be thinking about as you're looking at the pathways and trying to figure out what is best for you.
And our math classes have homework. So I hear rumors sometimes from students coming in from middle school saying like, oh, I didn't have to turn my homework in. You will have homework. The higher level math class you go, the more work it will be. Our AP college level courses have on average 2 hours of homework a night just for that class. That's one class. If you're taking 5 other classes, that adds up quick, especially with the outside stuff that you could be doing besides just school. So just, we want you to see the big picture and think very thoughtfully about what makes the most sense for you.
Okay, moving on to electives, we have world language. So we have Chinese, French, Japanese, and Spanish. If you're currently taking like a French level 1 or Spanish level 1, it's okay to repeat that class. I know that sometimes, you know, you just feel like, okay, I've finished level 1, it's time to move on to level 2. But if you feel like maybe you want to understand the concepts a little more, it's totally okay to take the level 1 again. If you plan on taking a Chinese 2 or above, again, on that K12 form, there is a link. And so you'll sign up on the link, let us know, and then there will be a placement test, which is to be determined. The test is really to make sure that you are placed in the correct course. So again, when you come to high school, you have that really good experience because you're in the right class.
All right, these are the fun classes that we're talking about. These are your elective options. So we have the applied academics and we have the fine arts category. So when Ms. Kasha was talking about the high school graduation requirements and the credits and so forth, so there's the category in the applied academic, there's the category in the fine art and the world language. So you do have to fulfill 2 out of the 3 categories. So for your applied academic options, you have engineering, you have woodshop, you have Java, business, and writing for publication. Now for the arts, you have Art 1, 3D sculpture and design, string orchestra, choir, drama, and concert band. Some of the arts are by audition, like the orchestra and the band. So our music department will be in touch with you all to let you know when those auditions will take place, and you would just sign up for them, and they'll let you know the instructions to do so. So basically, these are all the different elective options that you get to choose from. So we will have an electives night, and at the end of our presentation, we'll let you know the date and the time for that. We strongly encourage you to attend the electives night, so that way you can hear from all the different departments and you can know more about, if, let's say, for example, I really want to do 3D sculpting and design, so I want to know more about that. Or what's the difference, you know, with the orchestra versus the, you know, the choir, versus if I wanted to do a business class, right? So all the departments will come out and they'll talk about that, and then that'll help you make a good decision.
All right, kind of moving on from the nitty gritty of the course selection stuff. You know, we are very excited to have all of you as students next year. This is kind of a shared support, you know, not just with school staff, but also with parents. So, you know, creating a healthy high school experience, there's a shared responsibility between students, parents, and school. So just want to talk about some things we have committed to at Monte Vista. Many or all of our courses the teachers engage in something called PLCs, professional learning communities, where teachers are collaborating with each other, aligning course material, instruction, things like that, across sections and across courses. Promote student wellness. That's been a big goal of ours the last few years. And I think something for us here in guidance is supporting social emotional learning. This year especially, we've really kicked up our social emotional learning program. We're developing more curriculum. Every month we're developing more curriculum, not just at our school site, but also at the district from a district guidance level. And we're really excited to be presenting to students about social emotional learning. This has been a big year for us with that, and we really hope to continue our work. So, when it comes to you as students, it's not just learning from an academic standpoint. We want you to grow as people. Parents, we want you to know that we want your students to grow as people. And the social emotional learning, really is, like I said, a big goal of ours and a big push where we see a need, and it's definitely something that we look forward to continuing to do. So that's just something to kind of look forward to, and just kind of a little bit of, kind of behind the scenes here at Monte Vista.
Okay, so Monte Vista is not just a high school in terms of academics. Students just don't come and take their classes and leave. Some of them do, but we are a comprehensive high school, so we offer a lot of other things besides academic classes. You can see we have clubs, leadership opportunities, music, obviously the choirs, and they do different productions. The theater, same thing, plays that happen throughout the years that students can get involved in. Whether they're in the drama class or not, they can still participate. Spirit, dance, marching band is something that we resurrected a few years ago. Color guard, and then again, athletics. So there's a lot of opportunities for your students to try different things. We want them to dig deeper in their areas of interest. So if there's something that speaks to them, we want them to get involved and explore that more. We do have students who come in and say, I don't know what I'm interested in. So that's why it's so great to take the opportunity to check out some clubs or different opportunities. You're not going to be great at everything, and maybe you try something and you're like, I'm terrible, or I really don't enjoy this. That's fine, and that's okay. Now you know. And if you don't explore the different opportunities that are available, you'll never know where you might find a passion or cross something off the list and say, you know what, this isn't something for me. So high school is a time, it's going to go by fast. You'll start as freshmen, and then sooner you'll be seniors, and we'll be like, oh my gosh, do you remember when you came and saw me freshman year and we were talking about X, Y, and Z? It does go by, and it is only that 4 years. So we really want you to learn and grow and have as many experiences as you can, try new things, know that sometimes you're going to fail and it's not going to work out, and pick yourself back up and move on. And just really, we want you to look back at high school and say, there were good times, there were times I struggled, but it was an amazing experience. And I'm glad that I put myself out there and did different things and really use that time to my advantage to explore and set myself up for the future.
Summer courses, don't do it. I can think of like a million things to do during the summer. You can take naps, you can go out for ice cream, you can go hiking, you could ride your bike if you can ride a bike. I can't, but that's okay. Summer could be a time where you can learn to ride a bike. Again, millions and millions of things that you can do in the summer besides taking a summer course. However, should you decide to take a summer class, that is your choice, and that is totally okay. The classes that you take do not count towards high school graduation requirements. So that means we do not post those classes onto your Monte Vista transcript. You hold on to those transcripts, and then later in life, senior year, hopefully you remember this, but you'll self-report those classes on your college application. Again, it's summer, have fun. That's what we want you to do. You become high school students on August 16th. And so that is when your high school journey will begin and when your classes will start to count on your transcript.
Summer courses, obviously summer is 2 months. And if you were deciding that you were going to take a class over the summer for 2 months, I want you to be thoughtful about how much you can actually learn in that time frame versus an entire year of school. So we just want you to be very cautious and tell you that no one at Monte Vista, guidance counselors, assistant principals, our principal, teachers, anybody will tell you that that is a good idea. So just want to say that.
All right, course selection support. So we have lots of great information on our Monte Vista website. If you go to the homepage and you go under guidance, we're going to have all the information regarding course selection, but that's where we also house our course list or our course guide. So if you want descriptions of all the classes and to know more in detail of them, that's definitely another avenue for you to look for to gather more information as you decide on your courses. Now, our course selection student Q&A webinar is January 20th, and that will be at 10:30. Now, the course selection parent Q&A will be January 26th from 5 to 6 p.m. And our elective night Q&A webinar, which I talked about earlier in terms of the electives, if you want to know more about specific ones, this is the webinar we want you to attend. It'll be February 2nd from 5 to 6 p.m. And for our English language learners, our ELD students, we will host also a course selection webinar with our ELD students, and that will be on February 9th from 5 to 6 p.m. So these are all key dates that, make sure you jot them down, put them on your calendar. We want to be able to see you there, ask questions, get as much information as you can so you can make good, sound decisions with selecting your courses.
All right, as we wrap up here, just a final top 5 for all students from the Monte Vista guidance team. Number 1, especially for incoming 9th graders, high school is going to be, maybe a shock is too strong of a word, but it's going to be different, right? In good ways and maybe in bad ways in some regards, right? It is going to be more work. I'm just going to be honest with you. There will be more schoolwork involved. So really making sure to maintain and balance time management, school stuff, fun stuff, family time, sports, computer games, whatever. It's all about just maintaining a balance, okay? So, and a lot of that really comes from what courses you select as well. It can start there too. Choose courses that are right for you. It's really important. I know it's very easy to kind of get caught up with, maybe what your friends are doing or family members, older siblings, stuff like that to, maybe try to stay competitive with them or something. But I can tell you from working in this job a long time that, and a lot of the worry is about college admissions. There are so many options, so many career paths, so many majors, so many colleges. There will be a place for you, guaranteed, okay? So it's really important to really try to focus on your own growth, your own courses, your own, kind of pathway. So please make sure you're choosing courses that are right for you and focus on, what you need and what you want to do. Explore and deepen your areas of interest. Throughout high school, that's a time, like Ms. Kasha said, try new things. You may take something and not like it. So next year, take something different. That's okay. But we really want you to focus on your own areas of interest. Develop your independence and engage in self-advocacy, talking to teachers, reaching out to counselors. If you need help, asking for help is such an important skill and seems so easy, and but a lot of students struggle with that. So if you can learn how to ask for help, especially early on, end of 8th grade, beginning of 9th grade, that's a great skill to have and a really great one to have going forward, obviously. And then finally, have fun and enjoy high school. Some of my best times were in high school, I remember. And I can tell you the things I remember really had nothing to do with school. It was all about, basketball or hanging out at brunch and lunch with my buddies. And, those were the times I really remember and kind of miss, from the high school days. And that's what we want you to do. We want you to get involved, try different things, try different activities, because those are the moments you're going to remember. You're not going to remember the math test. You're not going to remember studying for, the SAT, but you're going to remember those times with your friends, with family, sports, activities, music, choir, performances with drama. Those are the things you're going to remember. So, reach out, have fun, try new things, and enjoy the experience. Enjoy your time here.
Okay, next steps. We will have a Q&A webinar on January 26th from 5 to 6 p.m. There will be elective night, like Ms. Lamb said, on the February 2nd from 5 to 6. And then the K12 forms have to be submitted by March 5th. In addition to this presentation that went out to you, there should be a flyer which has links to the webinars. So you should have that information as well. So you will get this presentation. You will actually be watching this the morning of the 20th, and then we will go into a Q&A with you guys afterwards. So we have a lot of information. There's a lot of ways that you guys can get your questions answered, and the flyer will have the links to all of those. Thank you for joining us. We will actually see you in a few minutes, I think. The time is from the end of you watching this to our Q&A this morning. But we're excited. We're super bummed that we couldn't see you guys in person. We love getting to meet you and seeing your faces and scaring you about scary Monte Vista. I'm just kidding. It's fun. Just know that you guys are stuck with us. You all have a counselor. We're clearly very mean, unapproachable people. I hope you know what sarcasm is. But we're really excited to get to work with you guys and meet you, and you have an ally already. We're happy to answer questions. Please come and introduce yourselves. Come by, talk to us if you need anything. We're excited to work with you next year.
Yeah,
Thanks.
and we're very hopeful that we'll see you in the fall, and not virtually, but in person. And we look forward to that. All right.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.